Alexander Hamilton, founding father and architect of America's financial system. Alexander Hamilton, January 11, 1755 or 1757 July 12, 1804, stands as one of the most visionary figures among America's founding fathers. Serving as the first U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, a political thinker, and a staunch defender of the Constitution, he shaped the nation's political, economic, and social foundations with extraordinary intellect and relentless determination. Rising from a poor orphan in the Caribbean to a central figure in the creation of a new nation, Hamilton's contributions, particularly in crafting the Constitution and establishing the financial system, laid the groundwork for America's enduring stability and prosperity. Early life. From orphan to revolutionary. Hamilton was born on the British West Indian island of Nevis, though his exact birth year remains debated, 1755 or 1757. His early life was marked by hardship. His mother, Rachel Faucette, and father, James Hamilton, were not legally married, and his father abandoned the family when Hamilton was young. His mother died when he was 13, leaving him an orphan in St. Croix, reliant on relatives for support. Working as a clerk in a trading company, he displayed remarkable talent and diligence. In 1772, he penned an eloquent essay about a hurricane which caught the attention of local leaders. Impressed by his potential, generous benefactors funded his journey to North America for education. Arriving in New York in 1772, Hamilton enrolled at King's College, now Columbia University. There he encountered Enlightenment ideas and revolutionary fervor, quickly immersing himself in the American independence movement. He authored a series of essays such as A Full Vindication of the Measures of Congress, advocating for colonial rights with sharp logic and persuasive rhetoric. These early writings foreshadowed his later intellectual contributions to the nation's founding. Revolutionary War. Soldier and strategist. When the American Revolutionary War broke out in 1775, Hamilton joined the Continental Army as an artillery captain. His bravery and organizational skills shone in battles like New York and Trenton in 1776, earning him the notice of General George Washington. In 1777, Washington appointed him as an aide-de-camp, a role in which Hamilton drafted correspondence, coordinated strategies, and liaised with Congress. His work as Washington's right-hand man bolstered the Army's operations and deepened his understanding of the political and economic challenges facing the fledgling nation. Though he excelled as a staff officer, Hamilton yearned for battlefield glory. In 1781, he seized the opportunity at the Battle of Yorktown, personally leading an assault on British fortifications. His courage helped secure a decisive victory, enhancing his reputation and reinforcing his belief in the need for a strong central authority, ideas that would shape his post-war contributions. Cornerstone of nation building, champion of the Constitution. After the war, the United States operated under the Articles of Confederation, a weak framework that left the central government powerless to tax, repay debts, or unify the states. Hamilton, practicing law in New York, grew frustrated with this system, arguing that a feeble government endangered national survival. He became a vocal advocate for reform, pushing for a stronger federal structure. Constitutional Convention and the Federalist Papers. In 1787, Hamilton represented New York at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. Though he spoke infrequently, his influence was profound. He championed a robust central government with separate executive, legislative, and judicial branches, even proposing lifetime terms for the president and senators to ensure stability. While his radical ideas were tempered in the final document, his vision of centralized authority shaped the Constitution's framework, setting him apart from advocates of states' rights like Thomas Jefferson. The Constitution's ratification faced fierce opposition, prompting Hamilton to collaborate with James Madison and John Jay on the Federalist Papers. This collection of 85 essays, of which Hamilton wrote 51, systematically defended the Constitution's merits. In Federalist No. 15, he critiqued the Article's fatal defect of lacking enforcement power. In No. 23, he argued for a government strong enough to counter external threats. These writings swayed public opinion and remain a cornerstone of American political thought. In New York, a pivotal state, Hamilton's debates and essays overcame anti-Federalist resistance, securing ratification by a narrow margin. His efforts ensured the Constitution's adoption, uniting the states under a single government. Treasury Secretary, architect of economic stability. In 1789, President Washington named Hamilton the first Secretary of the Treasury, 1789 to 1795. Confronting a post-war economy plagued by debt, inflation, and disarray, he introduced bold reforms that forged America's modern financial system. His initiatives were transformative. 1. Consolidating national debt. Hamilton proposed that the federal government assume state war debts, consolidating them into a national obligation funded by bonds. His report on public credit, 1790, argued this would restore credibility and tie creditors to the nation's success. Opposed by Jefferson and Madison, who saw it as unfair to southern states, Hamilton brokered a deal to relocate the capital southward, to present-day Washington, D.C., securing approval. This unified debt strengthened federal authority and established a reliable credit system. 2. Founding the First Bank of the United States. In 1791, Hamilton established the First Bank of the United States, a central institution to manage currency, stabilize the economy, and support government finances. His report on a national bank justified its necessity, despite objections that the Constitution didn't explicitly permit it. Hamilton's implied powers doctrine, arguing that the Constitution granted necessary authority, won Washington's backing. The bank's creation marked a milestone in American finance, fostering economic growth and federal power. 3. Promoting industry and tariffs. Hamilton envisioned an industrialized America, diverging from the agrarian ideals of his rivals. His report on manufactures, 1791, advocated tariffs to protect emerging industries and encourage manufacturing. Though not fully implemented at the time, this foresight paved the way for 19th-century industrialization. His tax and tariff policies also bolstered federal revenue, enabling the government to function effectively. These measures sparked clashes with Jefferson's faction, birthing the Federalist and Democratic Republican parties. Yet Hamilton's economic vision provided the stability needed for America to emerge as a credible nation. Later years in tragic end. Resigning in 1795, Hamilton returned to New York as a lawyer but remained politically active. His rivalry with Vice President Aaron Burr intensified, culminating in the 1804 New York gubernatorial election. Feeling slandered by Hamilton, Burr challenged him to a duel. On July 11, 1804 in Weehawken, New Jersey, Burr fatally shot Hamilton, who died the next day at age 49 or 47. His death closed a remarkable chapter, but his legacy endured. Lasting legacy and historical impact. Hamilton's contributions to America's founding are unparalleled. Through the Federalist Papers he secured the Constitution. Through fiscal reforms he built an economic foundation. Through his advocacy for a strong government he shaped a unified nation. His implied powers theory continues to influence constitutional law, and his financial innovations underpinned America's rise as a global power. His story, vividly retold in Lin-Manuel Miranda's musical Hamilton, resonates today, highlighting his journey from immigrant orphan to nation builder. Though not without flaws, controversial policies and personal scandals like the Reynolds affair marked his life, Hamilton's intellect and sacrifice remain indelible. From the Caribbean to the corridors of American power, his legacy is a testament to ambition, brilliance, and dedication to a greater cause.